Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today after, I'm a little bit exhausted. Well, not exhausted. Are we actually exhausted or are we just injured? Because we are definitely injured. Last episode we dealt with our, minister. That's right. It says a minister, but that's a lie. It's the minister. The high priest as well. It seems to seek your advice. It doesn't. They don't anymore. And we have to purge the ranks because this was the spy quest that Jethal asked us to do. There are too many spies in the kingdom's intelligence service. You'd think that they are all spies because it's the intelligence service, and that's what a spy is. If you are curious about it, it's like members of the CIA. They're all spies. That's, because the CIA is... What does actually CIA stands for? I know it's intelligence agency, but I don't know what the C stands for. The American part of the government that does the spying. That's that. While the minister with a meaningless quarrel with the neighboring lands... Someone infiltrated our intelligence service with their own agents. To catch every mole will require outside assistance. The High Priest recommends negotiating with the oracles. Yes, there was an option, a completely meaningless option. Because it's about the chance of success. Actually, it's about how many crisis points you have. Because if you have enough crisis points, the chance of success is irrelevant. We also have some projects, so we can support the High Priest's endeavor, the endeavors. That is a good thing. We're going to look into that and see if we are indeed going to do that. We can also trade in wine. It brings in a decent income, selling goods that please Caden and his followers. Provides 1d10 build points per month. That might as well be been a dash. The game does have the d10s. Yeah. It shows both things. When you have a 1d10, you have a 1 to 10 damage, obviously. But anyway, provides an additional 1 to 10 build points per month at 8th and 10th rank of both loyalty and relations. Oh, that's pretty good. Provides an additional 1 to 10 build points for every 50 points of loyalty above 400, and our loyalty is not above 400, interestingly enough. Up to 5d10, which is a lot. Unfortunately for everybody, well, we can't do anything about that, for one, but also, I don't really need the money. At least I don't think I will. Let's get our divine up to maximum rank, and I have a hiccup. That's what you heard there, me being like, that's me being hiccupy. That sounds hiccupy. Is that like a Pikachu thing? I don't know. We have, triumph over here on the magic anomaly. The treasurer ordered the evacuation of everyone within the anomaly's range and brought them to a tent camp in the safe zone. The subjects bless the advisor's quick wits. That is what we did. The safe refuge over here, the Orlovskis were impressed by the mansion that the region provided them as refuge. In luxury, it surpassed Yoda sentence. I remember that one a lot. Because Yoda sentences are sort of a pet peeve of mine, but not because of English, interestingly enough. It's not interesting. Pet peeves are not interesting, especially not mine. Ransom in gold or iron. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Sana is busy right now. She'll attend to you when she can. Bloody Vendetta. Two competing merchant families have moved from insults to sharp blades, and a real war has begun. Among the victims of the bloodshed are innocents who are now afraid to walk the streets of their own city. This feels a little bit too much for just some families not liking each other. Chairman of the Outlaw Council. The position of chairman has just opened on the Outlaw Council, a 1-year term. Before the political infighting begins, one of the advisors should persuade the rest of the council that the queen is the best candidate for the position. I have said this before in this Let's Play. I said it right around the time I learned about what outlaw means, but I'm going to say it again. Outlaw means somebody who does not have any rights, and he's completely outside of the law. And the biggest importance of that is that if you, as a civilian, kill that person, nobody cares. Or you might, because, it's not murder. But, so it's just, you know what I mean? No, outside of the law. You can do with him as you please. And that's what outlaw means. Becoming an influential policy shaper of the River Kingdoms would be very beneficial for foreign relations, opening political doors on the level of Avistan's major countries. Now, I'm totally okay with outlaw being used as a as the common perception of what outlaw means, which is just banditry. However, in that sense, it also doesn't make sense. I have no idea why it's an outlaw council. It might have been just called the Anachuara Council, and it would have made just as much sense. I have no idea what any of that is all about. We're gonna spend a couple of crisis points. 3 points. We're gonna go with 2. We're gonna do that, and that's that. We can't do anything. We have 1 rank up over here. We're also gonna save because there's chances that we fail at what we're trying to do, and I don't want to. Basically, that's the gist of it. Support the Magister's endeavors, now rank 8. Thanks to the Magister, everybody is very happy, and people have started using their hair like she has, because it's really pretty. The messengers of the Queen persuaded the fugitives to head to a safe place, where they, quote, accidentally, unquote, came across a Razmiran patrol. The crowd's reputation remains unstained, but the Razmir's priests sent generous rewards for the invaluable help. Good. I don't know why it was accidental. You could have just said I sent, but anyway, I think, maybe. The troubled minds over here, the bards humiliated the mischief makers with a ballad. Because, you know, the thing about personality. It's not me, but it's still very much related to that. The lesson was learned, and the number of petty crimes has reduced. No one wants to become a subject of ridicule. That's not true. Especially the people who are already subject of ridicule. This has happened before, but it's just now that I'm realizing this doesn't make sense. Any nonsense about making a ballad to solve crime, it's just bollocks. However, the reason why it's here, and the reason why it's just not like a point against the game and just this game is stupid because this doesn't make sense. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. The reason why it is fine is because these solutions need to be made depending on who, you know, you have a problem, and then you have a bunch of possible solutions to that problem that you need as a game developer to come up with. And yeah, of course, some of them are going to be a little bit of a stretch of the imagination. It's totally fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The overarching themes of obsession with public perception are a little bit weird, but that's beside the point here in this particular subject. What doesn't make sense, though, is this last one over here. They didn't need to have any of this. No one wants to become a subject of ridicule. Now, think about the people who are criminals, and think about what they have in common a lot of the time. And, you know, or rather, in another way of looking at it is, why are people criminals? Or rather, why don't they obey the law? And in regards to what exactly were we dealing with over here? Oh no, it's just this dumb nonsense about this. It wasn't even a crime. It was just singing insulting songs about the Queen. My God. So let's just pretend that okay, whatever. That's just dumb. But what if the crimes were actually just, you know, stealing food off of food stands and maybe, I don't know, robbing fences and just things like that? That's probably people who are not necessarily too rich. And people who are not too rich, or rather, people who are already ridiculed, they probably are not going to be too rich anyway, because they're ridiculed. They probably can't get a good job. So when you say no one wants to become a subject of ridicule, you're assuming that the thieves weren't already a subject of ridicule before they became thieves. And I say thieves because, well, they're not thieves. They're not criminals in the first place, but whatever. You know what I mean? And that actually has very real parallels to real life. The reason why you can't ridicule criminals is because the reason why they become criminals is because they are often already ostracized by society, or they fell in poor graces, or they grew up in places of the country that people ridicule them just for being from that place. Or you start thinking about racial disparities, you can go on and on about all this dynamic here. But anyway, that's what the storyteller did. He sang a song. False lights, the villains have been dealt with! ! The guard tracked them down and arrested them during a night raid. That is good. It's good, because it needs to be night raid, because it's Sirius who went over there. Actually, did I read this? No, I did not. Ransom in Golden Isle, but yeah, but we got that before, so it doesn't matter. The Truth of the Blade. A famous local priest of Caden is urging our subjects to settle their disputes through duels rather than court. We have courts? Okay, well, we have courts. They already existed in the Stolen Lands, because I didn't institute them. Our youth are zealous. I don't know how to say that word. I know what it is. They're following the dwarf's teachings with zeal. There we go. Justice and order in the region are under threat, and it is time to intervene. Yes, it is indeed. The justice is already under threat. Justice is not here in the first place, because this is all bonkers, and all the whole country is bonkers. But I am upset that we have a court system. I don't want the court system. What is this? I want my chaotic neutralness. Magister asks for an audience. Let's have a chat with Magister. Now, who's the Magister? That's probably Octavia, because she's the one whom I leveled up. I don't envy you, Giladel. It's a tough decision. We're at an impasse. The simple folk can no longer suffer the threats of our mages and sorcerers. Why are our mages and sorcerers threatening the simple folk? Anyway, a wave of protests has rolled across the capital and the surrounding regions. I've just spoken to a delegation that represents the people. Their demands are quite clear. They want us to restrict the use of magic in places where people live. This will mean that casting spells and brewing potions will require a permit. Even then, it would only be allowed on the outskirts of settlements and during the day. Can you imagine the outrage that such measures would spark in every member of the magic community? And is a false feeling of safety worth limiting people's freedoms? I don't think so, she says. Well, you're not Octavia, you're not limiting people's freedoms, because they're the common folk. You're limiting the mages, and like, this isn't even similar to, I don't know, us not being able to get on an airplane with a bottle of water, because, you know, if we're talking about, you know, the safety versus freedom, which is a very real thing. It's a very real duality here that countries have to balance, and throughout my life have balanced, especially recently as well in regards to the pandemic. But when it's a false sense of security, I guess she's sort of making she's just saying that it's a false sense of safety. I mean, it might be. It might be false, but I'm not. That doesn't matter really for the issue here, because we're not limiting their freedom. We're limiting mages and what else did you say, by the way? Oh, they need to go up here, and sorcerers. But divine magic is also magic. And potion brewing is not magic. Is that how it goes? I'm not sure. The definition of magic is not really talked about. Even in Dungeons and Dragons, it isn't talked about. There's wizard spells, there's druid spells, there's divine spells, I believe. That's Dungeons and Dragons. In this setting, it's basically the same thing. But to think about as something as magic, like any weapons can be magic. It's not spells. But that doesn't matter, because you're not limiting it. You're limiting your freedom for sure, Octavia. I mean, you're not, but maybe your friends, I suppose. And you're not really limiting their freedom. You're just sort of like you're controlling their freedom. So this is more akin to gun ownership or car ownership or things that require an ID or something that requires you to be controlled while you do that, while you do whatever, driving a car or owning a gun or whatever it is, depending on the country that you live in, for reasons of safety. If we want to analyze that, I don't really know why the mages and sorcerers are a threat to people. I mean, there's some pretty powerful spells for sure. But if you're gonna use, we're not really talking about the. It's so detached from anything that this issue, this duality actually is about in real life. That this makes no sense. It feels, what's the word? There's a word for it, like ham-fisted. Ham-fisted is the word. It's like a mix, not a mix, but a metaphor for real life, and it's just bollocks. Because the what are you exactly are you doing? You're not forbidding magic. I mean, you possibly might be forbidding magic, but you're just saying specifically it requires a permit. That doesn't make any... It's not like there's people casting magic just, whatever, I'll cast some magic today. And all of a sudden, they need a permit. They're going to be like, oh, I guess I'm going to ask a permit. I'm not going to ask a permit. I'm not going to cast magic. That's not how it goes. You either have a permit or you don't, I suppose, unless you have to ask for a permit every time you want to cast a spell. And that would definitely be a limitation of freedoms. Because, you know, it's just a pain in the ass. If you cast like 10 spells every day, or you want to cast 10 spells every day, then it doesn't work. So yeah, you're right, Octavia, for the wrong reasons. So you're wrong and right. Isn't that the best kind of wrong? The delegation demands are well founded. I order you to... Also, this is very anti... Like, immediately as she started saying this stuff, I was, like, thinking immediately, chaotic neutral, please? I will grab every chance I get for chaotic neutralness, because there's so few of them anyway. So I will... You know, like, this is a very chaotic neutral option anyway. Let's actually check on that. We cannot allow baseless fears to dictate our actions, which... Yeah, that's another... That's a good explanation. It's not really... Actually, this... Octavia is wrong on so many accounts. If this is correct, if the fears are baseless, then the feeling of safety is not false. Because the fears are there. No, but baseless or otherwise, the feeling of safety is always there if you remove the fears. You know, the false feeling of this false feeling of safety implies that people are not safe. After you require a permit, which is the case for sure, but they are safe anyway. Like, magic won't kill them. It's not unstable. It's just that, you know, it's powerful. Sure, you can cast a fireball. Sure, you can also have a freaking sword. Or you can just explosions with many things. Like, regulating all that stuff, sure, it's probably important, but we're also in chaotic neutral territory, so we're not going to do that. It's everybody needs to self-police, as it were. But that's not how it is. It's cult of personality to the extreme and the police state, basically. But I'm going to hold on to as many opportunities of chaotic neutralness as I can. We shall we shan't set needless limits on the freedoms of spellcasters. And my choice is specifically that about spellcasters, because it is about spellcasters. It isn't about people. This doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all, this whole thing. Oh, boy. Another advantage of doing this is that Octavia doesn't get upset, so that's nice. Varashk has showed up. Go away, Tarashk. No, Varashk. It reminds me of Tarask every time. And a Tarask is basically a death claw. A death claw, except enormous. So, let's see. Persuaded an angry mob. Chaotic neutral, there it is, I was right. Denied upholding the ancient tradition of the March clans. Wait, I wasn't right. That was not... what? Is this the one? Told Octavia your opinion on her decision. I don't think that was what we just did. Either way, that's that. We did it. It's what matters. And the Magister doesn't ask for our advice anymore. Good. We also have another rank up, which is good because we needed it. And Octavia. Great stuff. Now, you take care of that. And you take care of this. And then rank up. And I save the game. Well, I don't need to save the game because it's all 100% chance to succeed there. I see a lot of new things. I love that. Also, it's a new month, so that might be the reason why there's so many new things. We're at rank 9 on Arcane. The spies, what happened? The Grand Diplomat triumphed and persuaded Andoran that... Andoran... Who's Andoran? Do we know who Andoran is? Because Don't remember. Anyway, the Gondolin needed their help. Oh, it's another country. The Twilight or not another country. It's the options that we had. Right. The Twilight Talons arrived in the capital and quickly tracked the traitors down in the intelligence service. And we got +5 relations, +2 espionage, and a little bit of money for it, which is a little bit weird. Maybe they came with money up here and just bought food or something, and we just paid taxes because of it, because apparently there's sales tax in our chaotic neutral kingdom. Bloody Vendetta over here. Triumph after many arrests. The warring families and their cohorts have disappeared from the city streets entirely, and the city is safe once again for a bunch of pluses, and everybody is happy. We have no events. We do have 3 events going on right now. We have support the minister's endeavors, but Jethal is busy for the moment, so for another week she's going to be busy. We have a training over here for the storyteller skills as a magister, and as it turns out, storyteller is the magister, I believe. Oh, he's the curator, so no need for that. Do away with that. Shoo. And then we have another one over here. Scouting the dire Gnarl Marchers. The Marchers. Absolutely. You go ahead and do that, because everybody loves the dire Gnarl Marchers. Spell resistance discovery. I mean, sure. It's 20 days, though, so it's a lot. Sure. We're absolutely swimming in money. So let's go with the regions over here, because we got some things that we can probably pull off. Serious training grounds, espionage. Wait, sure. That's for espionage. Save the game. These things are really expensive. And upgrade 3 more regions. That's pretty important, because I wasn't going to finish that quest if I didn't do what I just did. The chairman of the Outlaw Council. We never really realized what the Outlaw Council was all about, but the minister's agents bribed a few key players, pulled a brilliant deception off, successfully navigated multi-party negotiations. The new chairman of the Outlaw Council has just been announced. It's the Queen, capital Q. For a bunch of espionage out of that. Very nice. The truth of the blade over here. The priest has been appointed the official judge of duel, and plaintiffs are allowed to choose. Oh, we didn't fix justice after all. Although this is still very chaotic anyway. And the plaintiffs are allowed to choose between taking their matters to him or to a regular court that apparently exists. The people are quite pleased with the innovation. Ransom in gold. That's a triumph. The Khalid warriors are obliged to serve the kingdom for a full year, and thus gave us loyalty and military, and everybody was very happy. Apart from the people who are basically now slaves. Mock battle. A chief of a ferocious Khalid clan drunkenly swore at a feast that he would go to war and crush these lands. While on the march, he finally sobered up and realized what a blunder the whole idea was. But he cannot maintain his honor and respect if it doesn't return victorious. The chief begs the queen not to fight him in earnest. The person who's actually came in here to invade us promises not to fight us in earnest, promising that he will be eternally grateful and choose an advisor to handle this. Yeah, I kind of wanted Amory to go over there, because she would murder them all. Except this is a tricky thing to do, so let's go ahead and get Lindsay up there. And do we have any rank up? Yes, we do. And we can do that for Jethal. Fantastic. And that's about it, really. How long does that take? 28 days to resolve. My god, Lindsay, you're going to be out for days. Or months. So, nothing is going to happen after we're done here. Because nothing is actually... Well, there's new things. So, something does happen. Also, I need to look at our journal. So, the region upgrade... None of the stolen lenses subjects will be neglected by our ruler. Upgrade all regions of the kingdom. I'll look into that in a little bit. I supported the minister's thing. Good. Let's look at the map. So, you don't have anything to upgrade. You're good. Or is it actually clicking on the region? The region is already upgraded, yes. This region is already upgraded. So is this one. Only one upgrade can be chosen for this region. But we don't know that. Interesting. Because we probably don't, like... It requires things. This region is already upgraded. Let me guess. All regions are already upgraded except the one that I can't upgrade. Silver Step. Suppose Lake Silver Step is an important one. So I was right. I was wrong, by the way. There's still a few. Oh, there's a bunch. Yeah, we'll upgrade everything. Sure. That solves the issue of not being able to level our things up. A noble in trouble. The leisure boat of a noblewoman from Brevoy ran to ground on a sandbank in the river. The foreign guest requests aid from the ruler, but unfortunately Emery is busy. So, yeah. Fey backdoors. A mage from the College of Dimensional Studies in Katapesh has discovered a series of dimensional breaches. The local people are already suffering from these invasions, and we have had this a few times, so it's not like a big deal or anything. Let's just get you up there. What do we have over here? The contract. A notorious assassin from Daggermark has taken a contract on the Queen's head. An open challenge to a duel is not a likely result, period dash. An arrow in the back or a goblet full of poison, however. Yes. And then over here, the People's Wrath. There has been a riot in the region. People rebelling against the corrupt mayor. Murder the mayor. We can't do that. We're going to murder the people instead. Well, even Sana will murder the people. Let's get serious. He's definitely going to murder the people. He's evil after all, so that's the likely scenario. It's Octavia again. No, it's Jaethal. Our enemy's trail leads to Daggermark. The one who infiltrated spies into our ranks is now hiding quiet and still. They don't seem to understand the vanity of the pose. We're no longer looking for a single offender. We will take broader measures instead. Every servant, spy, or tradesman's assistant whose master hails from Daggermark, he cannot count himself most wanted. He can count himself most wanted. What? Who's this person? I don't understand what's going on. This Daggermark must be a person. No, it's a land. Right? Either way. They are expecting us to make an attempt on their purses. It's the only way they think. But we need not trouble ourselves with their enterprises. We'll simply be killing them one by one, sparing no one. The elders of Daggermark will come crawling to us on their knees, begging us to take the traitor and leave the rest of them alone. Sounds like a good thing. What would that be? Minus relations. That sounds like a bad thing, so anything really goes. Oh. That's her option. We're going to hunt the Daggermark's agents down. Let's go with that. My harvest will please Urgathoa, she says. Off you go. That sounds about right. And Harim. Hello, Harim. Please don't lecture me about your... No, it's Dragon. Thank you for not lecturing me about your nonsense. Basically, that's it. It's, lecturing me about his nonsense. Harim is. And then forcing me to... whinge. Because that's what they do. What's the word that I use to describe what they do? It's not whinge. Wine? Is that wine? Maybe? I don't know. We got +1 espionage. That's pretty good, which means that we get another rank up. Which is very nice. Jaethal is busy, or was busy, with something. Sirius can do that, because Sana can do this. And I need another point over there. That sounds good to me. Yeah, and we got another project over here for the Scouting Glenabon. Unfortunately, people are busy at the moment, so you're going to have to wait. Okay, so you go. So do you. And so do you. And then over here on the rank ups, or ranks up, I do that. Look at all the things that I have. Beautiful. Support the minister's endeavors. Fantastic. Level 8 rather. Secret cache in the dire Gnarl Marches. That's good. It goes directly to my stash. And the scouting the dire Gnarl Marches is done as well. The spell resistance discovery is also done, which is pretty nice. Bread and circuses. We have read this one already, and we can send the storyteller to do that. This had an X, and now it doesn't anymore. Amory can do that. A noble in trouble. 100%. That is actually pretty nice. No rank ups there. We can do regions over here. Can't do the guard headquarters. We can do other things. Kind of rap. Bread and circuses. Really? It's the same. Interesting. The title is the same. It's not the same. It's not the same effects, obviously, because this one, this Bread and Circuses, is an actual region upgrade. Interesting. No new things happened. On a new month? Sure. I mean... Oh, all the things happened all of a sudden. Nah, that's just new to the things that we completed. A triumph for the Bread and Circuses. The curator persuaded the gladiators to participate in the tournament by promising to take the capital's best dancers on a tour of Timon. The festival is a great success, and the crowds are in high spirits. That's pretty good. A noble in trouble. The soldiers which the general dispatched to help the noble quickly rescued her from her watery prison. And I read that one already. And the Fey backdoors. The mage from Katapesh was able to seal several dimensional breaches from the first world. In one, he discovered a loathsome Fey, and in the others, it just was mostly mold. The warden personally positioned the guard both inside and outside the castle. They performed admirably, handily capturing the assassin for the contract from Daggermark. That is great, but we just captured him and didn't ask any questions. The notion of avoiding bloodshed and limiting the confrontation to a, quote, mock battle, unquote, appealed greatly to the advisor. Both sides had an excellent time out in the field, and a few coins for the bards ensured that this, quote, great battle, unquote, I thought it was a mock battle, but apparently that's it, would be the toast of every tavern in the land. Great stuff. The people's wrath. The advisor's servants discovered that the accusations against the mayor were only slander. That's what, quote, discover, by the way. They, quote, discovered, unquote, that they were only slander devised by a, quote, envious man, unquote, who wanted to become mayor himself, regardless of whatever, because how dare he want to become mayor? Because, you know, that's not for the scum of you. Regardless of whatever, quote, truth, unquote, might be found in the accusations, quote, unquote, the proper judgment was clear, proper, unquote, quote, unquote. Yeah, I know you, Tsana. I know you well enough. That's right, murder those peasants. A quickly historian and genealogist. Oh, this one. With genealogist written like that. I need to look it up. I really do. To see what the heck that is. Also, again, cult of personality. And fascism. Well, I guess there's other types of cult of personalities that rely on genealogy. Well, monarchy, for example, which actually in this case would be a lot more accurate than just fascism. Especially because I'm trying to go for a chaotic neutralist. Which is sort of antithetical, maybe. And an artist's, quote, freedom. Storyteller needs to do business. That's why. And then I will send you there. That's 40%, that's 25. So I'll have to spend a few points over here. Not a problem. And the Magister wants an audience. So tell me about... It's been a while, she says, since I came to you like this, Gilladel. You must be wondering if I'm here to talk about troubles again. Well, believe it or not, this time I just wanted to tell you about all the success we have been enjoying recently. We refused to place new restrictions on the use of magic, and as expected, the people made peace with the decision. And the ones that didn't, we killed them, because that's how we do. Recently, our mages have even started enjoying a bit more understanding and tolerance. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. It's not like they need to cast spells. It's not about... Tolerance doesn't apply to that. I mean, I suppose it does. It depends on the systems and depends on the societies, I suppose. But it's like... Yeah, they're mages, but it's not like the color of their skin or their gender or something like that. It's like something that they choose to do, casting spells. We have come a long way over the years, she says. Our kingdom now employs magic to the highest order, and does so confidently and responsibly. Unlike many other states, which is not the same as kingdom, as for example, the United Kingdom is a single kingdom, but it is multiple states. We have done everything in our power to constantly maintain control over the situation and ensure that the development of magic serves the people and not the other way around. And Octavia, you are wrong once again, because we did not do everything within our power to control the situation, because we didn't, for example, require a permit for the casting of spells and brewing of potions. Anyway, she continues, and the time has now come to come to enjoy the fruits of our labor. There are 3 projects I can suggest. First off, my personal favorite, that's the one we're going to go with, because honestly, what is the difference? We could exchange our arcane knowledge with our neighbors. Second, we could use the experience of and know-how of our magic schools to help educate our priests more quickly and thoroughly. No, I'm not going to do that to Harim. He likes things stagnant. Lastly, we could start producing magical weapons and armor for our army. So what do you think we should do? The first one, diplomacy above all. Oh, that's diplomacy, sure. I was going to say sharing, but sure. We shall exchange our arcane knowledge with other states. No, excuse me. Other countries. It still has the same thing, because the United Kingdom is multiple countries. Well, how would you... Well, yeah. States just doesn't... No, don't use that word. Wonderful, she says. I can't wait to see what we gain in return. Well, I was not under the impression that we were gonna gain anything from that, because we were just gonna share the arcane knowledge. Extra arcane knowledge. I'm not really sure what the effect of that was, apart from losing and gaining a few things. Magister asks for an audience. Not anymore. And support the Magister's endeavors. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. And that's where we are going to learn what we actually, quote, gain, unquote, in, quote, return, unquote. Then we have not that. Please don't do that. That's 100% already. Very nice. I can do yours. We got 1 new event, so that's probably a completion. The Magister has been supported. It is not a completion. It's the arrears thingy. That's an easy one, though. So, Lindsay? Oh, actually, Lindsay is better. Yeah, sure. It's gonna be that. And we have a project. Trade with the Outer Planes. Completing this project allows you to receive a random item from the Outer Planes. I already receive random items all over the place. But look at that. It's Octavia. It costs a bunch of money. I have money for days. Start type project. The arrears goes for you. And then we have the belly of the stolen lands with Valerie. Give the grassy plains of Dunsword a new life. It's gonna be lovely. Should have saved there. Region upgrade. Any other country in Avestan should envy the gorgeous... There's 2 countries in the same sentence. Any other country in Avestan should envy the gorgeous country that the stolen lands have become. Gilladel did everything in her power to transform the kingdom into a blooming garden, and she was rewarded with the love of her subjects and the cult of her personality. Very good cult and personality. They all enjoyed Gilladel's personality. Trade with Outer Planes is done, and we got 3 things up here. What do we have? Disrupted harmony. The druids have noticed that one of the settlements is poorly located. We're gonna do that. Harim is gonna go there and shut up. Poor location is better. It increases entropy. Rumor has it that an unknown self-taught master crafting items of extraordinary beauty and rare quality has appeared in the region. Oh, yeah, I remember the Hands of Gold thing. 100%. 100%. Sure, both of you can... Yeah, Hammery goes there. It's gonna be fun. The Law of the Pike. Hell Knights from Fort Inevitable, which is ruled by the Order of the Pike, are invading the region to bring it to heel. They are conducting judgments. Right. Just going around being like, I judge this facade of the house very ugly, I do. That's what they do. And apparently we side with them. Well, we don't always... I suppose we don't always side with them. But the last time I tried that, we did. We did side with them. So we can't do anything that takes time. Well, we have things to do on the west. But that's interesting. Because that means we can't... Forgot about you. I'm very sorry. That means we can't do anything here. Okay. Good. Good. Let's look... No, don't skip a day. Let's go over here. And let's look at our journal to see how long it is going to be. Only a month? That's fantastic. We're probably going to spend the month next episode. For right now, though, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.